Welcome back to the Ashes to Intimacy podcast. I'm your host, Coach Daegan, and today we're going to be talking about unlocking spiritual tantric intimacy, which has the potential to transform your love life. Unlocking spiritual tantric intimacy, the ancient secret to deeper connection. What if I told you that the key to electrifying relationship might lie in ancient practices, over 1,000 years old? What if the very essence of intimacy could be enhanced through the sacred art of Tantra? Today, we're going to unravel the transformative secrets of tantric intimacy. We're going to discover how it can deepen the connection in your relationship. Understanding Tantra. First, let's demystify Tantra. What Tantra truly is, originating from ancient India, Tantra encompasses a vast range of practices and philosophies. Historically, it combines physical techniques, meditative practices, and spiritual rituals aimed at achieving a more profound connection with oneself and the universe. At its core, Tantra teaches that we can harness energies to enhance our relationship with ourselves, God or the universe, and our partners or relationships. But let's focus today on our intimate relationship, the one we're trying to fix, the one that has been causing you so much grief. It emphasizes that sexual energy is sacred and can be a powerful force for personal and relational transformation. It's important to clarify what Tantra is not. Many people associate solely with sexual practices, just because in the sexual world, they use that word loosely. But in reality, Tantra is a beautiful practice that you can implement in your committed relationships. It can be related to exotic activities. This narrow view misses the essence of the tradition. Tantra is not merely about physical pleasure. It's about experiencing profound sense of connection. A sense of connection that you may not have experienced yet. First with oneself and then with one's partner. It's a holistic practice that guides couples to explore the physical, emotional, and spiritual realms together, merging them into a unified experience of intimacy and love. Historical context. Let's take a moment to explore that the roots of tantric practices can be traced back over 1,000 years, with influences from Hinduism and Buddhism. Historically, Tantra was considered a path of enlightenment, encompassing a huge array of practices, rituals, and philosophies. In fact, Tantric texts, Kularnava, Tantra, emphasize the importance of transcending the ordinary and reaching a higher state of consciousness through the union of masculine and feminine energies. The practices vary, but the essence remains the same. To create a deeper connection with the divine, oneself, and one's partner. Core principles of tantric intimacy. Now that we have a clear understanding, let's discuss core principles that form the foundation of tantric intimacy. Presence and mindfulness. The first and perhaps the most important principle is being present in our ever fast-paced world. We often get caught up in distractions, phones and work, everyday stressors. In Tantra, mindfulness is key. When you're physically and emotionally present with your partner, it lays the groundwork for deep intimacy. Practice this by setting aside time each week, even each day, to engage in quality intimacy together. I like to be present with my husband. When we go out to dinner, I put my phone down because I have noticed there's a disconnection that occurs when I'm not fully present with my husband. If I'm not fully there with him, hear and listen and help him know that I fully am engaged in the conversation and that I'm smiling, present, and I'm contributing my feminine energy to his beautiful masculine energy as he takes me out on this romantic date. I have seen so many couples go out together. One or both are looking at their phones. They barely are present with each other at all. It's almost like they are not even there. This is no way to have a relationship, but it's often the way things go. Even if it's not at the restaurant, we often find ourselves distracted by whatever it might be. It could be a phone or computer, it could be work. It could be getting chores done, and we just aren't present. We don't listen. We zone out. We're in our full masculine energy and going from point A to point B and are not present. We hardly even acknowledge our partners. Hey, how is it going? But we don't even really hear the answer. So I really encourage couples to be present with each other and be intentional and mindful in that presence. The way that I'm being intentional and mindful right now. Eye contact, smiling, attention. Repeat back what you heard them saying so that they know you're here with them. There is so much, you get so much when you give. When you start being present with your partner, you'll see how they become present with you. They tend to act like a mirror. So even if you find them at greater fault than you when it comes to being present or mindful, maybe they're the one who's always staring at the phone. I don't want you to tell them to put down their phone. I just want you to touch them on the arm and say, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me. You see the energy that's exchanged in that moment? We encourage expressing desires, not complaining or criticizing. An example of what we would do is we could create a ritual before intimacy. When we are going to be intimate, instead of rushing through the process and hoping for an orgasm, we try lighting scented candles, dimming the lights to foster an environment where you can focus on each other without distractions. Energy awareness. In Tantric practices, everyone is seen as a source of energy. And that's my understanding. I have experienced this energetic connection with my husband, and it is much more powerful than the emotional connection and the physical connection, simply because there is a merging of energies that is so romantic and beautiful. It's almost like you can see past the physical and into the spiritual in those moments of intimacy. Understanding and being aware of this energy flow can elevate your intimate experience significantly. The skin is our greatest organ. Did you know that? It's our biggest organ. And we can touch, breathe, and connect physically. When we interact, connect, and breathe physically, we connect intimately and even energetically. Impacts the flow of the experience. You can practice simple energy exchanges, such as standing close and breathing in unison. You can synchronize your breath. Notice how feelings and emotions ebb and flow, almost like you're connecting to the essence of them. You can pick up on their energies, their thoughts and feelings, their emotions, and you sync up when you do that, which is ideal for great sexual intimacy. Vulnerability and strength. Embracing vulnerability is crucial for Tantric principles. It's crucial in any real intimate relationship, but especially in Tantra. It's revered as a source of empowerment. Interesting. By sharing your fears, desires, and even past traumas, you open pathways of healing. And that is my experience. My husband and I struggled a lot in a relationship. We were very disconnected, and there was infidelity and other disconnections where there was threats of divorce because of the lack of harmony in our marriage. But when we started to sync up at an energetic level, we received a lot of guidance, support, and help from the energetic realm, from the spiritual realm. And we could feel our higher selves, our spiritual selves, merging with each other and learning together, which was so beautiful. But first, we had to be intentional and believe that we had power over what happens next and be accountable for ourselves. Then the teachers appeared. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, and that is our experience. So by sharing your fears, desires, and even past traumas, you open pathways to healing. Now I want you to stay focused on that when you stand in reverence with your partner. The healing can occur and will occur as long as you are open to receiving it. Engage in a dedicated conversation where each partner shares something they have been hesitant to express before. This could be related to intimacy, personal struggles, or in areas of personal growth. Because of the struggles that my husband and I were facing with infidelity and addictive tendencies, meaning tendencies that or destructive to our relationship that are on repeat. That's the definition I put on addiction. And I don't like to use the word addiction, but the tendencies to repeat a negative pattern is an addictive tendency. So when we are experiencing these, what I call traumatic influences on a marriage, it was difficult for me to allow my husband to talk about the challenges that he was facing because of how they affected me very, very negatively. And so I often would judge and criticize when he did mention those things to me because of fear. But when you are open to receive a person's feelings, concerns, and traumas, even their addictions that could be hurtful, you open up a spiritual energy between you. And this is extremely intimate. So I felt that my spiritual guides were able to help me and my higher self were able to help me to connect to my husband in a way that never had happened before. And that same thing happened to my husband, where he was able to let me talk about things that were traumatic for me and without judgment, criticism, or taking offense, which is so destructive. So it was very helpful for us to allow that communication to occur and to allow this intimacy to take place by connecting at a spiritual level and trusting that we would receive help and guidance and support. There are also sacred rituals you can take place in. Creating sacred rituals can enhance your connection as a couple. I love sacred rituals. They can be as simple or elaborate as you want. Couples can start with daily appreciation towards one another, or even formalize their commitments through a tantric ceremony. And we do a tantric ceremony at our Reclaim Your Soulmate retreat in Hawaii. It is a beautiful ceremony where couples come together and recommit themselves to each other and recommit themselves to themselves first and then to each other, to be accountable for themselves and to be accountable for their spiritual growth and connecting them to themselves, to their spiritual higher selves and energy and God or the universe, however you like to describe it. And as that energy flows into them and strengthens them, they're able to show up as the best version of themselves. And as they do, a miracle starts to happen. And there is this transformation of the individual where they're able to be accountable for themselves instead of pointing their finger and blaming their partners for what has gone wrong. Because often it feels like they have done everything wrong. And we haven't done that much wrong. And what they did is worse than what we did. So we want them to change. But the fact is that each person needs to take accountability for themselves. And so we, at the beginning of our retreat, we sign a contract stating that we will be accountable to ourselves and our own spiritual and energetic growth. Instead of blaming our partners, we're going to stop blaming and we're going to start being accountable. And there's a love and energy that flows because each person is giving 100%. So as that happens, the tantric ritual that we perform at the end of our 7-day retreat is a beautiful and romantic experience. The woman gets crowned with a beautiful flower crown and the man wears a lei. And we get beautiful photos and there's a recommitment to each other. There's an energetic exchange of words and eye contact and energy and touch, this beautiful touch. And we capture it on camera so you can take it home with you with your signed contract. It's very beautiful. So we do that ritual at the Reclaim Your Soulmate retreat, but you can do it yourself at home if you are willing to grow and to open up your heart to receive the spiritual guidance and support that you so desperately need in the most important of your relationships, your marriage. A smaller version of a tantric ritual could be to start each date night by taking turns sharing 3 things you appreciate about each other. This sets a loving tone for the evening and reinforces positivity. And I find that the more lavish or love you put into the exchange, where you get, when you're talking to your partner about what you love about them, the more that your spiritual energy flows to them, and they can really feel your love through your eye contact, your physical touch, gentle caresses on the skin, and your words, your loving words. And it not even just gratitude, but you can project on your partner beliefs about them that maybe they don't currently have, or maybe things you've complained about in the past, but now you're seeing them in a different light. When I started to project positive energy into my husband, like speak life basically into him with my positive words of affirmation and belief in him. Even before he was working on his fitness, I could see his future self. So I saw him as his future version, strong, fit, and participating in all kinds of fun activities and being a great leader for our family. And so I started to point out all the little ways that I saw him being a leader and all the little ways that I saw that he was strong and fit. Even if you have very little evidence of this act of gratitude and projecting of it's just basically like manifesting into the future something beautiful for your partner. So you can do the gratitude ritual, but also projecting something positive on your partner rather than things that are negative, which is what we're used to doing. And it's very destructive to be negative to our partners because we actually create more of the thing we don't want by being negative. So when we do the opposite, it's a beautiful, romantic, and gorgeous experience. For exploration of sensuality beyond sex. So we want to explore sensuality beyond sex. Instead of just rushing to an orgasm or just making it a quickie all the time, we want to really be intentional about our intimate bedroom time, laying naked together, eye contact, physical touch, just being very present with each other in our words as well, what we speak to our partner while we're being intimate. It's kind of like a sexy ritual because you're speaking to them about all the things you love about them. Tantra encourages partners to explore sensual experiences without the expectation of sex. Engaging activities such as massage or dance not only fosters closeness, but deepens the emotional bond. So what I really love to do is to think of myself as being a sensual being, like a sensual goddess that steps into my femininity, my feminine energy, and explore ways to feel like I am the feminine goddess and to feel beautiful and enchanting and alluring. I learned how to do some really cute, sexy dances that were simple that I could practice. And I learned a lot about tantric massage. And so I invite you to learn in ways that help you to really step into your sexuality as a man, as to be a really strong sexual leader, and to kind of just play with that masculine energy, how you can lead and feel the presence of her feminine energy, and you as a female can step fully into your femininity and play with the energies and learn and grow together, so that when you're on the lead up to having a sexual experience, or even just playing around with energy throughout the day, throughout the week, using the tantric methods of mindfulness, you can really experience sex at a level that you will not have experienced yet. So I invite you to play with that energy and really just enjoy it. Make it a game, make it a playful game. It's not a chore, it's for fun. And if you need to get a babysitter so that you can learn, or if you need to ask for help, your family members and your support network really should be on your team, because they know that your marriage is important to them, your relationship is important to them, and they will help and support you. So I really recommend stepping fully into those experiences that have nothing to do with sex, or they're just kind of lead up to sex. So there's a sensuality component without the orgasm component, without the desire for an orgasm, without the need for an orgasm, I should say. And there's ways to elevate that sexuality using tantric methods. Engaging in activities such as massage. Example. So you can plan a night where you take turns giving each other massages, using essential oils, focus on exploring each other's bodies without rushing to achieve sexual excitement. can lead to deeper touch, communication, and ultimately intimacy. There are practices to enhance tantric intimacy. Now let's dive deeper into some practices, some practical exercises that you and your partner can implement to enhance your experience of tantric intimacy. Kundalini awakening. So the Kundalini is considered to be an energy system that's kind of like a spiral pattern that's kind of like as a coiled serpent at the base of your spine. And couples can engage in practices such as synchronized breathing and gentle movement and meditation to awaken this energy. You can visualize the Kundalini, the energy going up your Kundalini from your sacral chakra, which is right here at the base where your sexual organs are, and it just kind of spirals up into your heart chakra. And when you connect your sacral chakra and your heart chakra at a meditative level, at a spiritual level, at an energetic level, while you're synchronized breathing really close to each other, making eye contact, it's incredible actually how powerful your intention and the energy behind it really helps you to connect with your partner. It's very romantic and beautiful, and you will be forever changed once you try this the first time. So an example of this is to try sitting back to back with your partner for a few minutes. And as you breathe deeply visualizing that rising energy through your bodies and sharing in the sensations and feelings that arise in that ritual. That you can also face each other. They call it the yab yum pose. And the woman usually puts her legs around her partner. Wraps her legs around him, and his legs will come out to the side. So he'll be sitting, and then she'll be on his lap. And you can put your arms around each other, and you can breathe in synchronized breathing. And as one breathes out and in, you just have this visual experience of the energy flowing between your chakras. It's very romantic and beautiful, and you can breathe synchronized. And I recommend going on YouTube and finding a tantric couples meditation and just letting them guide you through the process. I would love to hear how this goes for you, because it's very romantic, very intentional, whereas most of the time our intimacy is very rushed. So you're going to love it. It's really going to change your life. They say that once you've started to have sex this way, you've started to have intimacy this way, it's really hard to go back to the other way. And if you ever change partners, it's really challenging because your partner doesn't have the same skill. You're kind of going down the levels of intimacy. And so you need to be able to work together to grow together in your intimacy using your tantric skills so that you can together create this extremely romantic sexual experience that happens all throughout the week and has a build up to it because of your intimacy. And in this position, focus on synchronized breathing and sending love. And another thing, when you're doing the synchronized breathing, whether it's back to back or in yab yum pose, it's really important that you intend on sending loving energy to your partner. It's crazy how your attention alone actually creates this energy frequency that you can share with your partner. And if you ever tried it, you just close your eyes. If your partner's not nearby, you can send love to them energetically from a distance. And so doing these practices alone is also very helpful because you get to connect yourself, your spirit, and your partner from a distance. And if you're feeling disconnected from your partner, connecting to yourself and your spirit can be a very helpful way to relinquish control and to let go of the negativity. And the intention on connecting is the most important thing. And then eye gazing, of course. It's very simple to eye gaze. But, I found in my couples retreat that couples have a hard time gazing into each other's eyes. It makes them feel uncomfortable. It's like you're looking into the soul of the person. And you don't usually do this. It's usually like eye gazing for a moment and then kissing. And then as you've been in the relationship for a while, often you don't even really look at each other. You're kind of annoyed by each other all the time. So really intending on connecting to them at a spiritual level while you gaze into their eyes, it almost brings you to tears because you see them in a different light as their spiritual self. And it encourages vulnerability and emotional openness, which is a superpowers. Those are superpowers, vulnerability and emotional openness. To do this, you can sit across from each other and gaze into each other's eyes without speaking for several minutes. We'll see how this goes. Notice the feelings that arise and allow yourself to let go and connect on a deeper level. You can also do the fire breath. This energized breathing technique increases vitality and helps to release emotional blockages. So it's a really rapid breath, like you can go through your nose or your mouth. They recommend doing through your nose, but I think I have a little bit of congestion, so it's kind of challenging. But when you do this breath like 15 or 20 times, it helps to energize your entire body with oxygen, and you can feel the tingling sensation throughout your body, and it helps you connect with your partner as you do this in synchronized breathing. So synchronized fire breath. And you kind of relinquish control and just connect at a spiritual level. This energized breathing techniques increases vitality and helps to release emotional blockages. So another way of doing this is to sit cross-legged opposite your partner and take a deep inhale. And then exhale forcefully in a rapid pattern. 10 to 15 times, up to 20 times. And then take a moment to feel the energy alive in your bodies and discuss how you felt. Integrating tantric practices into your daily life. As you delve deeper into these practices, it is essential to proportion them into your daily life rather than making them a single event. Obviously, things that happen just once in a while don't bring your relationship along to the next level. The idea is that we bring our relationships up to soulmate level, not keep them down where they're keeping going lower and lower and lower until we eventually reach the point where we're like, I don't even want this person around anymore. So this is like an intentional way of keeping your family together and growing together, which is the whole purpose of our existence, is to grow, learn and grow and become the better versions of ourselves. So the journey to unlocking spiritual tantric intimacy is about consistent practice, connection, and open communication. Yes, of course that's the case. It sounds very like, yeah, of course you have to. But this can be simple things like eye gazing in the morning, saying something sweet and complimentary, a little flirt, a little wink, something romantic that really lets you connect. And I do this routinely with my husband. And as I do this, miracles start happening. And intimacy grows to a level that is unprecedented. It's extremely romantic. Consider dedicating a specific time each week for your tantric rituals and practices, creating a safe space where both of you feel relaxed and open. Now, I want you to reflect on the tantric principles we've discussed. Which practices do you feel drawn to? And if you have a journal or something you can write down, that would be ideal. Which practices do you feel drawn to? Which barriers might you need to overcome to fully surrender to this journey? As we wrap up today's discussion, remember that Tantra is not about enhancing your intimate relationship, but transforming your entire view of intimacy and sexuality and your connection to the divine inside of you and the divine in your partner. By embracing these ancient practices, you can cultivate deeper intimacy and create a sacred bond that enriches all aspects of your lives. I encourage you to consider how you might implement one or more of these practices this week as soon as possible. Always implementation immediately after learning is a great way to keep it active in the forefront of your mind. Okay, these could be eye gazing, breath work, or creating a sacred ritual. Every bit counts in nurturing your relationship. Before we close today's episode, I invite you to share your own experiences with Tantra. If you've already tried it, or after you've watched this video and you tried it, I want to hear from you. I want to hear any challenges or victories you have in your practice of tantric love, intimacy, and connection. How have you transformed your connections? You can reach out to us on social media or share your stories in the comment section. We love hearing from you, and we love learning from you too. We're all here to learn together and to grow. Thank you for tuning in to the Ashes to Intimacy podcast. I hope you feel inspired to explore spiritual tantric intimacy with your partner and embark in this beautiful journey of love and connection. Until next time, keep your hearts open, embrace each moment with mindfulness, and surrender yourselves to laughter and joy. May your soulmate union come to pass. And if you need any support, we are always here for you. We have beautiful coaching packages. We have a free relationship assessment that you can take. We have free workbooks. We love to offer free resources to our listeners because we want you to have a joyful marriage one way or another. We create a beautiful environment at our retreats. If you are available to go on one, we would love to have you there. The light in me sees the light in you. This is the definition of namaste. I love to say the words, the light in me sees the light in you. Namaste. Aloha.